Hello and welcome to another free ConvTI event. On today's webinar, Gil Lester will be talking about the commercial side of our profession, covering topics such as marketing, negotiation of rates, and client education. If you have any questions during the webinar, you can use the Q&A feature to talk to us. We hope you enjoy the session, and now I leave you with Gil Lester. Gil.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Marcia. It's a pleasure to be back here with you. And I hope you enjoyed our last webinar and you enjoyed this one just as much, if not more. The main goal of this series is to help us become more than dollar signs for our clients and agencies that we work with, which is very important because we need to identify what our unique value proposition is. Last time we talked a little bit about becoming a professional, and this time we're going to cover things related to more practical things related to being a business, and that is important for all of us to be aware of. What is it that we need to know? But who am I to be talking to you about that? Well, I got 37 years of experience. I've made all the mistakes that you can imagine, so you don't have to go through them. I'll tell you what they were. And negotiated many contracts. I've taught a lot. So I got a lot under my belt that I would like to share with you. But first things first. There are a lot of myths about being in business for yourself. People think that the moment you leave the office, you become your own boss and you can do things however you want. Well, guess what? That's not necessarily true. It is not all fun and games, sorry. Yes, we have more flexibility. We can choose who we're going to work for. You can do pro bono work if you want. No problem. But reality is, each new client is a boss. He's telling you, this is what I want you to do. He's telling you, this is when I want it done. So you are taking orders from somebody. This is how much I want to pay you. You are discussing rates with someone. You don't have health insurance. You have to provide it for yourself. Now you are it. The whole office is you, all focused on you. So you're the secretary, you're the office manager, you are the accountant, the marketing director, you are the clerk. Everything is under you. And in order for you to be efficient, it is very important to learn to say no. No, I don't know that subject. No, I'm not available. No, I'm not going to work for that rate. There are different ways of saying all that, definitely. But it is important for us to have our script, so when the moment comes, you may say to somebody who you do not want to work with, I am really sorry, however, I'm very busy right now and I would not be able to meet your deadline. If the rate is too low, you can say something like, unfortunately, I cannot fit your rate into my budget. Be polite. There are many different ways of getting there. And we would like, yes, to take every job that comes our way because we need the money, because we like the subject matter, because we want to learn something about it. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. You've taken a job before, so your time is not available for you. Or the subject matter may be something you're not too familiar with. At the same time, you don't want to leave your client hanging. You want to give your client support. That's when those associations we discussed before, the groups that we have in Facebook, for example, come into play. If I have a job on, let's say, quantum physics, and I'm interested in learning a little bit about it, but I don't know how to work with it. I'm not familiar with the language. I can ask a colleague of mine who is familiar with it to do the job, and I can do the proofreading for him or for her. All of this, however, I have to discuss with my client. I have to tell my client, Mary, thank you very much for this project. I'm really excited about it. However, I am not the person to do it for you. I have a colleague who specializes on this subject matter, and here is his resume. I checked with him if he's available to take a 2,000 word project right now, and he is. I did not disclose the subject matter or anything about it, just a number of words, and he can take it, and I'll do the proofreading for him. Is that okay? Once your client says, yes, go ahead, thank you very much for solving this issue for me, pass the project on. Agree on the terms with your colleague, and there you have it. You saved your client's hide. You're going to be learning something new. And you have now established a better rapport with your colleague. So these are the things we need to learn to do. Know your limits. Know where and whom to ask for help. Okay? So once we get all that under our belts, well, we have to think about how we're going to get our faces up there. Because marketing, well, marketing is not the same as when I started in the last century. Yes, I'm that old, sorry. So things have changed. Before, you would have your name on the ATA, Najit, one of the many directories that are available online, and that was enough. No longer. Now we have to contend also with social media, Facebook, Foursquare, everything that's out there claiming to give you the exposure you need to reach your clients. So what I meant is when you get involved with social media and many different associations also, you have to be aware of where your profile is lurking. You cannot keep your profile in prose and a different profile in Translators Cafe. You need to keep them up to date. So if I go find you in Translators Cafe and the last entry is from 2005, I'll think you stopped working. That's what is going to come to my mind. You're no longer doing work as a translator. If I find you in prose and the last entry is from 2016, well, wait a minute. Why is this? So we need to keep our profiles up to date in each one of the directories we belong to. As I said before, I belong to many different associations, and I try to keep my profile the same in all of them. The same thing happens with the social media profiles that are out there. It's important for you to make sure that when a client finds you on Facebook or on Twitter or on LinkedIn, there is a cohesion between the messages being communicated, conveyed in those profiles. So be careful, be aware, and be yourself at the same time, your professional self when it's necessary. And if you don't want to give your clients an insight on your personal self, make sure that your Facebook profile has the proper privacy settings. That is very important. And marketing has changed. Before, it was like, put your name on a plaque, I do this, come to me, you sit back and you wait. Nowadays, no. There is a thing called inbound. You need to go create your perfect client, your ideal client. Imagine what the needs of that individual are. Then you go out and you tell people, I can solve your problem. Not necessarily so directly, but. And then they talk with you. You close the relationship, but it doesn't end right there. You have to provide post-sale services. Weird, isn't it? Well, not so much so. I have many clients I work with, and one of the things I do with them is I provide them with extra help. Oh, can you please take a look at my website for me? How much do you charge? Oh, don't worry, let me take a look. And if there is anything to be done, we discuss prices later. That's my post-sale services. I will do things for my client if they don't take much of my time and if they simply help me maintain that client happy. Yes, I'll do that. And again, about your profiles, it is important to keep a link, a visual link between them. Just think in terms of Coca-Cola. No matter what word is written using those letters, you know it is related to Coca-Cola. It's what comes to mind. Sprint, black, yellow, those are the colors. And that lettering, the font was created especially for them. Again, that's their branding. So you need to have cohesion between your website, between your business card, between your letterhead. Something has to be the same. There's got to be a connection between those things. And with regards to organization, it is not related only to your physical space. It's not simply what your desk looks like. No, it goes beyond that. Remember, now you are the office manager. You are the secretary. You are the one responsible for the financial side of the company, and not only getting the money, but also disposing of it correctly, keeping the records. No, 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 no. It's not that hard. You just need to do it the right way. You need to learn where to find the tools that can help you. They are not always expensive. They are not always for pay. Some of them are free. And you need to know where to find them. There are too many links. So what I'm going to do is show them for you and share what I know about those. And later on, we'll provide you with a list of them. We have your email and your name on the list of those who registered, and we can send you all that information through an email later. So there are many free cloud-based accounting platforms, and we have some articles that compare them. So here you go. You want to learn about what free accounting platforms are available to you? This is the short version of the link. Tech Radar did a review of about 10 of them. It's very interesting. Take a look at it. For me, it's very interesting. I use a paid one. It's online. It allows me to create invoices. I pay because I can brand my invoices. I have a list of my customers. Each customer has a profile, and I can determine how much I charge that client. This way I know when to increase my price. So it's a client I've had for 20 years and I'm still charging him a very discounted rate. I can't justify, well, I've been charging you for 16 years the same rate. It's time to increase now. All my other clients are paying more, etc., etc. So you have the tools to allow you to grow your business in that manner also. So having your accounting for free taken care of, it is really something that helps us a lot. And as far as your files and dealing with other clients, issuing documents, etc., you can go to a virtual assistant. Some of them are like $7.50 an hour. Yeah, depending on the country, that can be very expensive. However, there may be services like that in your own country. So take a look at what is available. See if it is affordable. You may be able to share an assistant with a colleague, and that will help you with the expense. So check it out. This website offers you a review of the top 10, and it's really interesting. I took a look at it and I was surprised because I thought they were very expensive. A colleague had discussed them with me, and I was like, nah, I don't think my pocket can reach that far. Guess what? At $7.50, yes, I would like to have somebody help me keep my computer, my papers, my things organized. Dealing with my clients, yes, that would be good for me. I can do that 3 times a week, for example. Yeah, I can bite that bullet. So another thing that's very important for you to do is to keep your business account and your personal account separate. So at the end of every week, every month, whenever you want, you issue yourself a check or you transfer funds, and that is your payment. And you can change it. I remember there was a time I was paying myself X, and I had to go to X minus 2. And I don't have to explain that to anyone. And if there is a good job coming my way and they can spare, yes, I'll pay myself a little bit more. So if you have the accounts in the same bank, for example, you can do transfers between accounts. Usually it is free, but it's a good practice for you to keep your business expenses separate from your personal expenses. 2 cards, 2 debit cards. You're going to the office supply store to buy paper, use your business credit card or debit card to pay for that. You're going to the supermarket to buy wine and cheese because you're going to have a meeting with a client and you want to bring a little gift. Use your business card too. Yes, you're at the grocery store, but it's a business expense. That goes under marketing for your accounting. You're promoting yourself. You're entertaining a client. You take a client to dinner or to lunch, etc. Yes. But when it's mom or your brother or your aunt or your best friend, you pay with your business. No, not business, sorry. Your personal, right? You pay with your personal account, a card, the debit card from your personal account. So this will help you at the end of the year when it's time to go for the taxes that nobody really seems to like. I don't mind paying taxes. Yes, I'm weird that way. I like paying taxes. What I don't like is when they are misused. That's a different story. But if we are sharing something, I believe I have to pay my fair share of it. And so that's what taxes are in my mind. So pay yourself a salary. Separate your expenses, business from personal. Look for something to help you, someone to help you. Accounting services, virtual assistant, they're good. Another thing that we need to look into is how to make our work more efficient. We're familiar with CAT tools, yes, but you're familiar with desktop search programs? Sometimes you're working on a project and there is that one word or expression you used 2 years ago, and you're going to go look for your whole computer. It might take 10, 15 minutes. There are platforms and there is software out there that can help you with it. They go you install them into your computer like Copernic. They go in and they check it out for you, and in seconds, they bring the information to you. Check that out too. That will help you with terminology search. And there are many different things that you can use to help you be more efficient. Word count, Practicount, and Count Anything are two of the applications I have used to assist me with it. Again, you have to feed your clients their information, the rates you practice with them. They allow you also to create invoices if you want, depends on how you configure them. So these are things that will help us. It's time to become a business. We can no longer just plod through. We need to have a plan. And the plan has to include tools that will increase our productivity. That is very important. Now, when we talk about a project, it doesn't start when you start typing the paper. No. The project starts a little bit before. There are negotiations to be dealt with your client. And this is the point that if you have already defined your rates, it's time for you to have an adjustment of attitude. Remember, you are the CEO of your translation and interpreting business. And the agency is not doing you a favor. The agency is partnering with you. That's the adjustment, the attitude adjustment I'm talking about. It is not like, oh, ABC, thank you so very much. Yeah, that's fine. Yes, your rate's great. Yeah, I'll do it like that. Yeah, no problem. Monday night, wait a minute, 4,500 words. Should I do this? Shouldn't I do this? And the dialogue goes in your head because you're afraid of opening your mouth. No. Attitude adjustment. ABC, thank you so very much for your project. 4,500 words from here to Monday. No problem. You have to pay, though, my rush fee, 25%, because I'll have to work today, Saturday, and Sunday to deliver this to you on Monday. So that's my family time. But if you change it to Tuesday, we go back to my regular rate. Can we do that? You have the power to negotiate. You're not a slave. You're the CEO, Chief Executive Officer, owner, president. You're it. Remember? You're the magician. You can do everything. Even talk to an agency at the same level. You don't have to be subservient. Now, not arrogant. I'm not talking about being arrogant. I'm talking about speaking to them from a position of authority because you know what you can do. You don't have to tell them it's your grandmother's birthday Sunday and you need to go. No. You tell them that you will charge more for it in the hopes that they'll say no. Because the other solution is for you to work extra Saturday night to make sure you're there for grandma's birthday and then work some extra on Sunday night so you can deliver it on Monday. Those are your options. You can be flexible, but you don't have to fold and accept everything that's thrown your way because you are afraid no more jobs are coming. So today you got this job from agency ABC, and you say no. Your heart is pounding. Oh my gosh, is any more money coming my way? Well, guess what? 2 hours later comes another job from XYZ, and that's for double whatever the other company was offering you, ABC was offering you. Maybe it doesn't come today, it'll come tomorrow. So you have to know what to accept, what not to accept, what you want to do. So it's very important for you to be aware of that. Now, let's say that you have not yet decided what your rates are. How do we go there? How did you determine your rates? Can you answer that for me? Use the Q&A and answer that question for me. How did you determine your rates? You pulled it out of the hat? You used a rate your colleague was using? How did you do it? I have a formula. I can share it with you, but I want to know how you arrived at your rate. What did you do to get there?
Jill, before we start that, while the viewers are asking their questions, I would like to share with you two questions we received about the previous topic.
Sure.
The first is from Tania from Portugal, and she asks, could you please tell us what accounting application software do you use? I'm using lsp.expert, which is paid, but I also still have and sometimes use the old TO 3000, which is now updated. Okay.
Yeah, right. That is a very good, yeah. The first question, that's a very good program, the last one you mentioned. But well, this is a program that sits in your computer, as far as I remember, right, Tanya? It sits on your computer and you can do your accounting through it, etc. The one I use is called FreshBooks. They are based in Canada. It's paid for. I pay about $250 a year to use it. And they do all my accounting for me. When I issue an invoice, it also allows me to deduct any expenses related to it. Let's say if I had to use a notary and my client's not reimbursing me for that, or if I pay for the post office expenses, I can put that as an expense there if I had to pay for parking or restaurant, whatever. And it keeps my rates, also the rates I practice with each one of my clients. So it's very practical. And at the end of the project, it creates a report for me. It tells me how long the client took to pay me, what the average workload I have with that client. It's very interesting. FreshBooks from Canada. There are many different programs. Intuit, they do QuickBooks. They also have a program that you can do your accounting online. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. And we also have a question from Marie-Claire. The suggestions made of software and applications are meant to be only for Windows, or do you have any suggestions for Mac?
Oh, the reviews, I believe they cover Mac and Windows. Some programs are hybrid. I mean, they will work in both. They are not restricted to one operating system. So there is a mix. There are some they're only for Mac, some they're only for Windows. So you'd have to look. And on Facebook, there is a group of translators who work with Mac, only with Mac. So take a look at that group. I think it's Mac translators, if I'm not mistaken. Take a look at that group. They should have a lot of information there for you, including CAT tools that work better with Mac, plenty of other software. Nice to have you back, Marie-Claire. Thank you, Marcia. So did we get any response to our question? How did you get to
not yet. Okay, we have some now. Mark from Brazil. Accounting is very complicated in this country. Is it hard in the States?
Yes, it can be very hard here in the States too. For example, Hmm. Since I am self-employed, I'm expected to pay taxes every 3 months. And I'm supposed to project how much I'm going to make in that period of time. So let's say I expect to make $8,000 in 3 months, and I have to pay the 30%. That is the taxes over here. 30% on top of that to the government. And then the next trimester, I have to think the next quarter, I have to think in terms of what my projection is. Because I didn't get to 8,000, I made only 5,000 that last trimester. So I'll have to adjust that projection of 8,000 to maybe, I don't know, 6,000. I have some extra ideas or a client that always comes during this period of the year after me, you know? So this is one. We have to pay every trimester, or we pay a fee, a fine at the end of the year when we do our accounting, the general accounting, for the income tax purposes. But what is easy here is that I do not have to register as a company to do my taxes as a company. I can be a self-employed individual, and at the end of the year, there is what they call a Schedule C, which is a commercial reporting that I will provide to them with all my expenses, all my revenue, and based on that, a certain amount of money will go to my general income tax calculation. So it's a lot simpler than Brazil, yes, but you do have a little issue, at least for me, it's an issue to guess how much money I'm going to make in 3 months and pay my taxes based on that. So I've never done it because I haven't been able to calculate that. And I always pay a fine at the end of the year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid. It's just that it doesn't work that way. You think you're going to have the money, and then all of a sudden, an expense has a reason that takes it away from you. So it gets to be a little bit complicated. Sorry, Marcia, go ahead.
Yeah. And Mark continue with his question, and maybe I can provide an answer for that as well.
Yeah.
So would we generally need to hire a specialized accountant?
I have a bank account in Brazil, and I have an accountant do my income tax for me. Marcia, you take that one.
Yeah, speaking for the Brazil reality, it all depends, Mark, on what type of business do you have? How do you, which regime do you use to provide your services? In Brazil, if you are freelancer, autônomo, you have, sorry. Mark said, I'm actually referring to the US. I should be moving there in the future. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. Just complimenting. So if you are in Brazil, if you are a freelancer, you have some laws to follow. If you are a company, you have another way of behaving. So it's always good to check with an accountant which is your situation and which is the best way to carry on your business here. Yeah.
And as far as the US is concerned, yes, I recommend using an accountant too, especially right after you arrive, because this will be an education for you. The accountant is going to explain what's going on, why this is done this way or that way. And next year, you may be able to do it all by yourself. But the first year, I do recommend getting an assistance with an accountant. And apparently no one answered my question. How did you arrive at your rate? So here goes my formula. Number one, know how much you want to make a year. Let's say $120,000, just to have a round number. Now, a year has 52 weeks. Find out how many weeks are you going to take on vacation. 3, 4, 2? If it's 2, then you're going to divide 150,000 into 50 weeks, because that's the number of weeks you're going to be working, and you need to know how much money you're going to be making a week. And that's how you get about it. Okay? So now you know how much money you're going to make a week. How many hours do you want to work that week? Normally, the work week is 40 hours. Do you want to work full-time, 40 hours? Or maybe you want to work, I don't know, 30 hours only. Divide the number you got by 30. So 150,000 divided by 50 gives you the weekly amount you need to make. Now, divide that by 30, which is the number of hours you want to work. And there you have your number, how much you want to make per hour. Oh, you want to know how much to charge per word? Easy. How many words do you usually translate in 1 hour? 1,000? 300? 1,600? I don't care. Whatever the number is, get that hourly amount and divide by that number. That's it. Now you got your price per word. That's the way I do it. Now, the thing is, you got that number, your per word number now. Can your market accommodate that amount? Is it realistic? Or are you going to have to readjust your prices? That's your reality, your world. You have to go back to the drawing board and decide, maybe I'll have to work more hours so that price comes down, number one. Number two, maybe I need to specialize on something, and I'm going to do translations or interpreting only in the area of, you choose. I have a colleague who works only with animal husbandry. She's a subject matter expert on animal husbandry. She commands a lot of money. She's an interpreter. There are very few people who work in that area. So she can. I have another colleague who works with financials products. So financial products, and she will not open an email before $100 has come into her account. So you want her to do a job for you. When you reach out to her, it's like, Miss Anita, I have just put a deposit of $100 into your account, and here is the proof of deposit. I also would like to know if you're available to translate this blah, blah, blah for me. Then she'll look into your email. She's the CEO of her company, just like you are. It depends on how you deal with your clients, if they are direct clients or if they are agencies. I bet you that she has a special deal with agencies, and she doesn't require them to pay $100 beforehand. But other clients, yes. They have to make that little deposit before she'll open their email. And that's how she operates. So, did you get the formula? How much you want to make per year? How many weeks do you want to work? divide those two numbers, the big one by the little one. Then divide that by the number of hours you want to work a week. And then if you need to break that down to words, just be aware of how many words you can translate in 1 hour and divide that number. Okay? So that is my formula. Now, before you start a project, the other thing you need to look into, let me make myself a little bigger over here. Let's see if I can succeed here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, better. So the other thing you have to look into is your contract. If you're dealing with a direct client, you must have a contract. Now, it doesn't have to be 3 pages, 10 pages, can be simply your email. The email where you're saying, yes, I am available to do your project. In that same email, you can add the rate is so much. It's going to take me 3 business days to deliver it to you in Word format, in PDF, in whatever the file format is. I abide by the whatever association you belong to code of ethics, and all your material will be handled in confidentiality if you agree with the terms above. Oh, sure, forgot one thing, payment. You can ask for a deposit ahead of time if you want. You can determine how long your client's going to take to pay you. 2 weeks after delivery. Full payment before I start the project. Those terms you decide. You put that in that email. And then you go, if you agree with the terms discussed above, please send the documents and as a confirmation email, and I will start the project. And you put down the date. This afternoon, tomorrow, Monday, depends on when it is for you. So a simple email can work as a basic contract. Here in the United States, they are legally binding. I can use an email to prove that I had an agreement with somebody to perform in a certain way for a certain price, following certain terms. I remember I had a problem with a client that did not want to pay me. We all have that, right? We have that client. All of us have that client. And some of us are naive enough, like moi, to engage with them. I did. I gave them a third chance because somebody told me they had changed. So they didn't pay me. I had already discussed with them the terms of my arrangement with them based on my past experience. They failed me again. I went immediately to an agency here in the US that handles business relationships called the Better Business Bureau, BBB. I went to them. I found out what the requirements were, filled in the forms, provided copies of all the emails we had exchanged, the one that established the terms, the one confirming their acceptance of the terms, my requests for payment. I sent them everything. They immediately gave me a case number. Now, I wrote to my client, dear Silvio, whatever the agency name was, the person in charge of accounting there, after 4 attempts at collecting my fee, I felt myself obligated to reach to the Better Business Bureau, and I opened a claim with them, number blah, 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 blah. I expect resolution of this within a week, or I'll have to go and start a lawsuit against you in the small claims court in order to collect my fees. I expect to hear from you within 48 hours. Thank you very much, Gio. There you go. That's what I had to do. Yes.
Gio, we have another question from Mark.
Go ahead, Mark.
I saw, sorry, my fault. I saw the ATA president speaking at the BRATS conference last month, and he mentioned insurance for translation and interpretation errors in the United States. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I will. Thank you. So, it is important for you then to deal with your clients with regards to payments. Very, very important. And then that ties in with what Mark wants to know. Payment is your client's responsibility. Your responsibility is to deliver the product you agreed to deliver to them. But let's say you got sick, you made a mistake, there was some sort of a problem. And that's when errors and omissions insurance, E&O, come into play. The American Translators Association offers a special deal with one of the companies here in the United States for those who are members and want to obtain the errors and omissions insurance. It protects you in case of you got sick, you couldn't deliver the job and couldn't find anybody to help you with it. The airplane was stranded, you could not leave the airport, so you couldn't make it to the conference as an interpreter, you couldn't do your job. Fine. That's what that professional liability insurance is there for. The errors and omissions insurance, that's the name of the insurance, is a type of professional liability insurance. It protects you in case of non-performance or faulty performance. That's what David was talking about, Mark. And the ATA has a special deal with a company here. Take a look at your association in your country. They may also have a special deal for their members with a law firm or another entity that offers that type of service. Okay? And why look into your association? Because they have, let's say in the case of the ATA, almost 12,000 members. So they get a special deal. They get a special rate and they can share that with you. All right? So, did I leave anything out with regards to what your responsibilities are, how to deal with your rates, how to arrive at your rates, etc.? If not, I think it's time to go to the next slide. The project itself. Part of your responsibility to your client is to deliver what they asked for. You need to be very sensitive culturally, as a business person, as a professional. Very sensitive to the needs of your client. What do I mean by that? I was translating a book from English into Brazilian Portuguese. And in the book, they said the author lived with her companion of 12 years. Her partner of 12 years. Well, two problems. Now, author is male in Portuguese. No problem there. It applies to a man or to a man or to a woman. Okay, the author, blah, blah, blah. But partner can be a man or a woman, can be male or female. I did not know how the client wanted me to handle that. It was not a cônjuge, which is a spouse, because that applies to somebody who's married. It's not a sócio, a partner, because that's for business. What they meant was companheira, in this case, her common law marriage wife. So there are two women. Now, how does the Brazilian society react to that? I had to go to my friends and ask them what the issues, any issues that there might be, if that was reviewed in the book or not, and how I should handle that. So I did a little bit of a cultural probing and approached the publishing house with that, the results of my findings, so that the author could then make an educated decision on whether for the Brazilian issue of the book, we're going to take that away or just keep it on. I cannot make that decision, but I have to be sensitive enough to know that there may be an issue and know how to address it to my customer. I can't go to her and say, oh my goodness gracious, there's going to be a problem. No, 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 no. It's not my place to determine if it's going to be a problem or not. It is my place to find out if it is going to be a problem or not, which is what I did. So I went to them and I presented the situation. They made their decision. That's what I'm talking about. There are moments when you can use this word or that word. Is abode better than home? Is flat better than apartment? Is, so you gotta choose one. And you have to make the right choice because of rhythm, because of imagery, all of that. You need to take that into account and be sensitive to your client's needs and pass it on more correctly. And you don't forget to explain it to them. And have your support for everything you do. I did a job for a company, an agency here, and they were dealing with one of the largest power companies in the United States. It was a video, and the person who had done the translation did an awful job. He used dude here, there, but this was management. They don't talk like that. It didn't work. And the guy was lost. For example, there was a sentence that was very interesting. Blue ribbon findings state that. And it was rendered as the discovery of a panel in the shape of a blue ribbon shows. No, blue ribbon panel means a panel of experts. The findings of a panel of experts show that. Now, how you render it in your other language is something different for each one of us. However, blue ribbon panel is not a panel in the shape of a blue ribbon. They use the word blue, the expression blue ribbon, because the top prize, first place in competitions here in the US gets a blue ribbon. So the top panel, a panel of top panelists, that's what they meant. And when they talk about the quarter, the first quarter, yes, that's exactly what they did. They took it to mean the coin, the 25-cent coin used here in the United States. The first 25-cent coin. Yeah. Are you still laughing? Can I continue now? Right. So be aware of how you sell yourself, because if you stretch yourself too much, you go beyond your capabilities, you are creating a problem for your customer. You cannot think only of your pocketbook, of your bank account. And don't forget, that's why we have the associations and the groups. Marcia deals with marketing. If I get a job that has to do with marketing and it goes from English into Brazilian Portuguese, she's my go-to person. Yeah, I might pass the project completely to her and do the proofreading. This is my way of learning. So next time a project comes, I can try to do it and send it to her for proofreading. That's how we exchange knowledge and grow professionally and grow together. Your colleagues are not competition. They are your resources. They help you grow professionally. So count on them. Okay, and there are unexpected things that happen. I mentioned before getting sick, getting stranded because of your airplane is not flying, whatever. You need to communicate that to your client. You need to let your client know. My husband knows if anything happens to me, he needs to get to my computer and let all my clients, the emails are there. He's got to let them all know I'm no longer available for whatever the reason is. And you need to communicate that to your clients. I've had problems with my computer, and I had to write to my client and say, unfortunately, my computer has conked out. I'm going to need another 4 hours before I can deliver the job for you. If you can negotiate that with your customer, your final customer, it was an agency, I would appreciate it. And I borrowed the computer from a colleague of mine and did my job, but I had to go and search for 2, 3 people. My delay was only 2 hours. Whew, I'm glad I asked for 4 so I could breathe, relax, and then deliver the project properly. But you need to keep your customers aware of what is going on your end. We have issues with equipment. Sometimes it's just the software is not working, has eaten you, the translation you did. The cat tool is not responding. Yeah. Sometimes it's the internet connection that fails you. Your health, as I said. Whatever it is, you got to keep your client abreast of what is going on your end. That's your responsibility. You need to do that. And your clients like it when you do it. I recall I was on vacation in Brazil, and one of my clients called me. I was so surprised. My cell phone worked in Brazil. So I pick up the phone and talk to them. And they go, oh, we got this project, la-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. I said, oh, you didn't get my message. What message? I sent an email to all my clients. I do that all the time, okay? I sent an email to all my clients informing them that I was going to be absent for 6 weeks. Oh, no, maybe my boss got it, but he forgot to tell me. So don't worry, we'll just wait for you to come back. I have people who can help you with it. No, don't worry about it, Gio. We'll wait for you to come back. Don't worry, I'll just tell them to wait. Right. Once you keep your clients well informed and happy, they will do things like that for you. Now, why did she do that for me? Because months before, when they were on a bind, I did my best to help them. That's called retribution. In Portuguese, uma mão lava a outra, certo? So we can help each other if we are upfront, honest, and open to being flexible. It's necessary. Is there any other question about a project? Things that you would like for me to discuss with you? We are approaching the end of our presentation. It's actually after 10, just 2 minutes, but if you have any questions, do let me know. You can talk to me now, or you can talk to me later. That's fine. And we all have war stories, like told you about one of mine. There was a recent one. I did a job for a lady called Elizabeth L. That's her last name, started with an L, here from Miami. And I knew from the very beginning that she was not going to pay my full price. She had no clue what she was doing. She was totally lost. She approached me as a direct client. In reality, none of the documents she sent me had her name. She was working for a lawyer. So everything was off. In the end, she told me that actually it was in the middle of the things. There was a few more documents, and she had told the lawyer that the translator was going to give him a better price. I said, excuse me, I'm not negotiating with your client. My deal is with you. If you want to give him a break, it's your issue. My price is the same, Elizabeth. It doesn't change. He's adding material to the project. I don't understand why you expect me to lower the price. No, it's more job, more work for me. I charge the same. She wasn't very happy. And from that moment on, I knew she wasn't going to pay for my full price. She didn't. But I already knew what was waiting for me. I covered myself. I had no problem. And she lost a good professional. I consider myself a good professional. So she lost a good professional. She has no clue what she's doing, and she's going to have issues later with that same lawyer when he needs more work and she can't deliver. And with regard to protecting yourself, as I had mentioned before, the ATA has the errors and omissions insurance that you can try and look for in other associations that you belong to. You can also look for it directly yourself. You don't have to wait for someone. You need to make sure you read contracts that are sent your way. I see discussions in professional forums of people saying, contracts, they're not important. They don't work. They have no value. Sorry, you're mistaken. Contracts are important, and you can negotiate them. Yes, you can. So, an agency sent me a contract with a non-compete clause. Basically, you can't work for our clients. I point blank told them, I have been in business for much longer than you. You better give me a list of your clients so I can mark which one of them are my direct clients. They stopped. They didn't argue with me anymore. Number one. Number two, I was doing a job for a company up in Ireland. No problem. Their contract, however, stated that the forum for any disputes would be the court in Ireland. Sorry, the project was less than $2,000. It doesn't even pay for my ticket to go from here to Ireland. How am I going to argue? So I told them, thank you very much. I have 2 colleagues in United Kingdom I can recommend to you, and see if you can work with them. They are closer and probably more familiar with the laws in Ireland, and might not be put off by that. No, we want to work with you. I said, okay. I see that your company has offices in another state here in the United States. Would you transfer jurisdiction to that state so that your affiliate office can handle it? It's easier for both of us. Well, let me see if we can do it. They came back and they made the change to accommodate my needs because I made sense. I didn't tell them, you gotta be crazy. No, I respected their position. They were from Ireland. It made sense for them. And they're in business for themselves, not for me. So I simply explained to them what the difficulty for me was. I did not know the laws of Ireland. I did not know what they were talking about when they were citing Law 123A45. I have no idea what that is. And it didn't make sense financially for them to have me, for me to accept going to Ireland to discuss something that when the expense of the trip didn't didn't even come close to how much they were paying me. Would be much more expensive. I've had companies change clauses in contracts because they applied to interpreters, not translators. And I go, okay, this makes no sense here, so let's take it out. Oh, yeah, sorry, trick, they took it out. So you can protect yourself at different levels. And one of them is asking for an advance payment. I did a job last week for a company here in the US, and I asked for 50% ahead of time. They paid me. Done. If you don't ask, you don't get it. Yes, you need to know how much you can ask for in your market and the type of business you are doing. Are you working for magazines? Are you working for a publishing house? Are you working for an individual or institution, an agency? You need to be aware of who you are dealing with so you know how much you can ask. No, I'm not going to go to an agency and ask them to pay me 50% ahead of time, but if they need me to work with them for a period of 3 weeks, I'm not going to work for 3 weeks without pay and then wait 30 days to get my payment. No. I will try to negotiate with them. At the end of each week, I will issue an invoice. So, do you get it? You get the math? 2 weeks after the last invoice is out, I will be getting my payment. That's the way we go about it. Yes, you can ask them for that. If they say no, you explain. Sorry, then I cannot finance your operations. I need to pay my bills. And you also have to determine who your final client is. I worked for a lawyer, and here in the US, it has become the practice. So we need to be very careful when dealing with lawyers here. And what they do is they draft your contract using their client's name. So I went to the guy, I said, sir, if you want your client to be my direct contact, you want me to have recourse against your client, I need to deal with him directly without you in the middle. Oh no, but he's my client, and da-da-da-da-da-da. I said, look, you're a lawyer. Your company, before engaging in business with this gentleman, ask for money into an escrow account. Those are funds that you have discretionary use of. Oh, well, it's not always. I said, sir, I've been doing this for 37 years. I know exactly how it is. Don't try to con me. That's the way it is. All you have to do is ask permission to your client to withdraw the funds from your escrow account related to the case. I can't have any recourse against your client. My recourse is against you. Therefore, take your client's name out of the contract and I'll sign it. With your client's name there, we don't have a deal. He changed. He put his name there because he knew I knew what I was talking about. It's a matter of how you deal with the individuals you are in business with. You don't have to be arrogant. You don't have to be aggressive. You need to be knowledgeable. And don't allow people to take advantage of you. And that's how you survive. You are in business for yourself. You are the CEO of your company. You're captain of your future. You need to take the reins. You need to know how you go forward. You need to know what it is that you can and cannot do. And I believe it's very important for you also to stay top of mind. Do you know what that means? That means that whenever your client needs something done, they will remember you. I do that using a CRM platform called MailChimp. I write to them saying, I'm going to be unavailable such and such dates. Sometimes I even tell them what I'm going to be doing. If it's important, I'll be interpreting for the heads of state for Latin American countries at the World Economic Forum in Panama. I will be leading a workshop at the ATA conference on those dates. Whatever it is, if it's important enough, I'll let them know what I'm doing. Why? Because, number one, they will remember those words, and next time they have a job that requires someone with experience dealing with authority, they'll come back to me. When they need someone who knows how to speak, they will come back to me. Someone who's familiar with that type of terminology used in those events, they'll come back to me. But if I only appear to them when I'm working for them, no, I have to be in their face all the time I can. Not every second of the day, not every day, but at least once a month. Send a little message. I am doing this, I'm doing that. It was a pleasure doing business this month with you, and I look forward to the projects to come next month. Just a thank you can be enough. Take a picture of you doing some work in your office. Use your phone, have somebody use it. I don't know. Put it on a beautiful email and say, the month is coming to an end. Can't wait for what you have in store for me. Anything like that. This is how you stay top of mind. You're the first person they refer to, they think of when they are in need of a professional. There are programs like platforms like Canva, C-A-N-V-A, canva.com, or Visme, V as in Victor, I, S as in Sam, M-E, Visme. Those two are online photo management and advertisement creation. They're great. You can create infographics, you can create resumes, you can create postcards, you can do whatever you want. And up to a certain point, it is free. So you can do that at a very affordable price. You can use it. It's neat. So I suggest you do that. And then you can use the pictures you worked on your email and send it to your clients. It's just a matter of staying fresh on their minds. They need to know you're still there, you're still working. Okay? So if you have any questions, I'm here for you. You can send me emails, or you can write to me through Twitter. If you might want to look at the articles I have, maybe there is something of interest to you over there. So go and take a look. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you enjoyed it today. And I look forward to your questions if you have any. Marcia.
Yes, Jill. We have another question from Mark. I would like to know how much the fine for lack of payment of quarterly income tax is if you do not have a company. I guess that would probably be this situation for me once in the United States.
Mark, I've been here 32 years. Of that, for the last 21 years, I've worked as an independent contractor. I did not have a company until last year. That's when I put my first company together. So I always paid as an independent contractor. And I have no idea how much it is. And I'll tell you why. Cowardice, fear. I did not want to know. It's something important, yes. But the fee is less than the 30% the fine, I'm sorry, is less than the 30%. So you have to pay the 30%, and on top of it, it could be the amount of the state tax is 7.5% here in Florida. I don't know. I really do not know. That's a failure in my part. I know that, but I had other people taking care of my accounting, and it has never been a problem for me. So that's what I've been doing. At the end of the day, it was less than 10% total. That's what I remember. But I cannot tell you exactly how much it was. Sorry. So if there are no more questions, I think it's time to say bye. Thank you very much. And until another event. Oh, actually, don't forget, we are going to have an online conference the 26th and 27th of August. The event is going to be totally online, and we're going to have subtitles for the presentations. Then at the end of the day, we are going to have live sessions, and we're going to have simultaneous interpreting during those events. We have chosen a beneficiary for our profits, or part of our profits, and we're going to be partnering with Translators Without Borders. The fee is $75 for 2 days of events, 12 pre-recorded sessions, and 3 live sessions at the moment. convti.com is where our is our URL. That's where we are if you want to learn some more about us. So thank you very much for joining us once again. We are very happy that you were here. We hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, just write to me, geo@geolester.com. Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.